All right, family, we are live and direct. All right. So I'm going to go in on Donald Trump. As you know, he is now the president-elect of the United States. And I want to talk about if things are going to get worse for Black people. I'm going to break that down in this video and what Black people need to do within the next 4 years. So I'm going to try to break this down. I'm tired, but I'm not going to be on here too long, but I still want to talk about this and give you guys my thoughts about, like I said, will things get worse for Black people? Just so many things that just today I've been reading a lot of comments and just having some conversations for different people, text messages and phone calls about what Black people are doing. So I'm going to talk about this in this video. Before I start on my commentary, once again, if you're new, my name is Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect Black people collectively as a group, and I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, white supremacy with a system of justice. So if you subscribe to that ideology, please subscribe to this channel. If you don't, you're wasting your time. There's no reason for you to watch this. You're probably hate watching, which is pointless. Click off, just that simple. All right, so I see one person in the chat. I'm going to go to the feed real quick. Let's see. I thought I saw somebody in there. That's fine. Anyway, will things get worse for Black people? I'm going to break this down in the video, family. Here's the thing, right, real quick. I'm going to say this. Black people, stop overreacting. Stop overreacting. A lot of people that I read online and comments and text messages and stuff like that, they are just going crazy. They don't know what to do. They're disappointed. They're sad. You know, people are talking about what happened to Florida. You know, man, Florida is the worst state, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like Black people are just the problem with Black folk, right? When they voted in Barack Obama twice, you know, we thought we had a victory. We thought we had something, and turns out it was just a symbolic victory. You know, he's been in office twice, 2 terms, and he has done nothing for Black people. Now I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, as a regular dude, working class dude, I pay taxes, I work, got bills to pay. During the 8 years of Barack Obama, I paid taxes out of the wazoo. I paid so many taxes. The IRS has been up my ass. Pause. I mean, literally every damn year, they're chasing me for money. And that's happened with the Obama administration. So, and I'm going to personalize this. This is just for me, you know, for me, the Obama administration for me has been the worst in terms of economics because I have been taxed like crazy under the Obama administration. So, you know, when Black people, you know, now realize that we have somebody in office, the president-elect Donald Trump, with no prior experience in politics, he is the next president of the United States. You guys know his views. You guys know that he is a misogynist. He is a racist, right? He wants to build a wall to keep out immigrants, right? Literally has no connections whatsoever as far as his foreign policy to Africa, wants to completely just cut it off, right? And I'm going to just keep it real with you guys. like I said, under the Obama administration, I was taxed like crazy. It has been the worst economic experience under a president as an adult for me. So what can I expect from me personally with Donald Trump in office? You know, let's start with Congress, right? Now, the question I have on this particular video: will things get worse for Black people under Donald Trump? The real answer is things have already gotten worse. The reason why is because you can look at the U.S. Congress. The U.S. Congress, the majority of the three pillars of the Congress, which is the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Supreme Court, it is all conservative, all GOP. Okay. So it starts there. The Republican majority is in Congress. Those are just facts. Okay. You got to start there. And so the things that's going to happen, family, once Donald Trump is in office, he's going to automatically repeal the Affordable Health Care Act, aka Obamacare. That's going to be gone. I think you guys probably already knew that. That's going to be gone. At the same time, all of these particular bills and law, all of these bills and all of these things that Barack Obama has put into office, those are going to be taken out just like that once Trump is in place. What does that mean for me specifically in my family? I can tell you right now, I'm going to be taxed less. I'm going to be taxed less than I was under the Obama administration. Now, that's just one aspect. Historically, and if you look at especially a majority Congress, that's GOP, that's conservative. There has been a couple of articles that I read about some of the things that may occur once Donald Trump is in office. Like I said, what he said on the campaign trail of what he's going to do. You already guys know his foreign policy. That's his Achilles heel. His foreign policy, it is going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster because he's already alienated so many countries around the world. Talking about building a wall, and like I said, his foreign policy with Africa, it's just that's going to be basically the downfall. And this is my thing that I think is going to happen, and it's just me. This is most likely going to be a recession. I think economically, with the global, since we have a global economy, other countries are going to be afraid to deal with the U.S. because Trump is in office, is going to affect the economy as far as trading is concerned and things of that nature. That's just one aspect, right? And again, family, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be on here for too long because it is late. I've been up since 6 o'clock. If you guys see my first video where I did the real-time reaction, woke up and just went on the computer, decided to share my thoughts. So I've been up since like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm pretty tired. But anyway, like I said, his Achilles heel is going to be his foreign policy and dealing with the global economy, which I think is going to cause a downfall of the economy here and bring another recession. So you're going to expect to see high gas prices, expect to see the real estate market crash. You're going to see a collapse, in my opinion, once Trump is in office, just dealing with the global economy. But one thing that Black people need to realize and look out for, Because like I mentioned, this starts with Congress. If you had a Democrat in office, Hillary Clinton, let's say she was the president-elect, and you know, she got her electoral votes and all that stuff. You still had a majority conservative in Congress. So she still had the power to veto certain policies, things of that nature. But depending on what they're trying to pass, you know, you still had, like I said, you still had a majority Congress, the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the Supreme Court. Now that you have a Republican in office, and again, you have a majority Congress, this is going to be a new world order. I was watching TV1 earlier today, and he mentioned that this is basically the third reconstruction, which is going to be, you're going to see a lot of things change. A lot of things change. And again, this starts with the Affordable Health Care Act. That's going to be done. That's going to be done with. So this is going to be reconstruction all over again. 1865 to 1877. You're going to see a massive change in laws. So expect to see, because there was an article about his potential cabinet members, right? And there's some really notable names that he has on his short list to be potential candidates in his cabinet. One name that comes up in mind is Rudy Giuliani. And you would expect to see, I would expect to see a national stop and frisk initiative. So if that guy is on the short list, Rudy Giuliani, who was basically the progenitor of stop and frisk in New York, you're going to see an initiative for a national stop and frisk. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Another person on the short list, dealing with Homeland Security. The Homeland Security Secretary. Guess who's on the short list? None other than the man who wanted to be included and the man who just wanted to coon his way into the Donald Trump campaign is none other than Sheriff David Clark. So Sheriff David Clark is on Donald Trump's short list to become the Homeland Security Secretary. I mean, what does that tell you right there? The fact that, like I said, family, things have already gotten worse while Obama has been in office, because we have a majority GOP conservative in Congress. So things have already gotten worse. It's just, as once Trump is in office, just things are going to be magnified. See, the problem is when you have a Democrat in office, Black people get pacified. Black people have been pacified for the past 8 years because we had a symbolic victory. Yeah, we got the first Black president. When you look back and see what he actually done for Black people, he hasn't done a damn thing. So when you look back and you say, well, we had Barack Obama in office, our first Black president, and he really hasn't done a damn thing for Black people, right? Now you got Donald Trump in office. Now the question is, how did Donald Trump get in office? Because of his views. We know his views are so overt. Again, he's a misogynist, he's a racist, you know, he's a womanizer, et cetera, et cetera. And people drove out in droves to vote for him. You had a surge in voters, in white males between the ages of 18 and 29 to vote Donald Trump in office. Right? regardless, regardless of his views, they still voted for him. What does that tell you about a so-called post-racial America? What does that tell you? Right? So this is something that Black people need to understand, that you have to govern yourself accordingly. Right? Trump is now in office. You had a 2-year Black president, a 2-term Black president, Barack Obama, who's now leaving. Now you got Donald Trump with no prior political experience whatsoever. And his views have been so alienated, all right, that will potentially affect the global economy dealing with the US, which I said is going to cause a recession. And again, this is going to be, and I agree with Roland Martin, this is going to be a third Reconstruction in terms of so many laws and policies being changed and passed through Congress. You know, this is another form of apartheid, or another form of Jim Crow that's going to affect Black people. So this here, family, Black people need to understand that you should have saw this coming. You knew you had a majority conservative in the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the Supreme Court. So the Congress, you knew that they were Republicans. When you watch politics closely, you have to watch the intricate changes that are happening, especially in Congress. Black people, they don't do that. They just wait every 4 years. And then once things go bad, they complain about the things that go bad. And so what they try to do, they try to rally up, you know, do the, you know, vote or die hashtags, or the us or else hashtags and things of that nature. Thinking they're going to actually make a change, but it's just a symbolic victory that doesn't do anything for Black people whatsoever. So with these changes, this is going to be another wake-up call for Black people, because the economy, in my opinion, is going to go downhill. That specifically affects Black people. I'm not talking about white folks. I'm talking about, this is going to affect the economy for Black people. So you have to govern yourself accordingly. The question is, like I said in my last video, my real-time reaction earlier this morning, what are you going to do when the economy collapses around you? This is going to affect all 9 areas of activity, like I keep saying in my videos: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. This is going to be a collapse in the economy in terms of that. But like I said earlier, this is kind of like a multitude of things that's going to happen. The economy is going to be affected in one way, and it's going to be affected negatively for Black people, in my opinion. But at the same time, myself, I'm not going to be taxed as much as I was with Barack Obama. My taxes are going to go down. That's for sure. Once Trump is in office, I'm not going to pay as much taxes as I did with Barack Obama. Like I said, his 8 years was a detriment to me as far as paying taxes. I was being taxed like crazy. The IRS was up my ass, pause, like I said before. All right. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy that Black people right now they don't know what to do. You know, you got people wanted to leave the country. You got people are like, well, we got to pray. You know, they got Black people talking about they may get deported. You know, all kinds of crazy shenanigans, man. And I'm just like, okay, y'all just calm down. You guys just calm down. You guys should have saw this coming. You know, the Congress was majority Republican. You guys should have saw this coming. Always look out for signs. Look out for signs, family. That's what you got to look for. Don't wait every 4 years. You got to follow politics very closely. And it starts with local politics, municipal elections. All right. Know your mayor, know your city councilman, know your city commissioner, right? Know your police chief. Know these people where you live. It starts there. Don't complain about stuff just every 4 years if things aren't going well for you. Right? So it starts there. You got to know your politics locally first. If you can't name your city legislator, if you can't name your senator, there's a problem. That's a problem. So, well, like I said, will things get worse for black people? They already have been. They already have been under a Barack Obama. Now, once Trump is in office, it's just going to magnify it. He's just going to put a magnifying glass off. Well, these are the things that Barack Obama did. He's going to put a magnifying glass over it for you to see it closely. And then you're going to be like, oh, shit. Okay, that's what he did. All right. Then Trump is going to change it into something else that's going to further disenfranchise you. See, that's what's going to happen. Then you're going to be like, oh, damn, man. Should have saw this coming. You know? So that's what it's going to be, family. I see some people in the chat room. Let's see. Ethiopian eyes, more war, higher gas prices, Bush era. Yep, that's true. Hand size don't die. Name one president for black people. There really wasn't one. Yeah, but fam, President Obama had the House and Senate. His 2 years in office, what did he do for black people? Absolutely nothing. Like I said, he said he did nothing. What economy? We don't have one. Of course, that's the whole point. We need our own economy. And that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, we need our own economy for sure. We need our own economy. We need to build an economy that's completely separate from the U.S. But again, we're not a monolithic group. So not everybody's going to be on the same page. We got so much infighting amongst black people that we cannot share the same beliefs. If one ideology is different from the other, we can't come together. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. So in order for us to build an economy, we have to be on one accord. And right now we can't. As you can see, who's a presidential elect right now is Donald Trump. All right. White folks, they know how to band together regardless of their differences. They can, they can believe in different things, but when it comes to their well-being, they know how to come together and work together collectively as a group, practice group economics, and get things changed and get things done. That's how white folks do it. Black people, absolutely not. We're not on the same page. So glad you brought that up. I agree. We need to leave this bitch. Yeah, of course. Of course. Antoine King, go where Africa was conquered before America. Well, I'm not saying we're leaving. I'm saying that the U.S. is ours. So I'm not going nowhere, but I'm not opposed to leaving either. So we need to get the whole point is, family, for me, and this is my views, is that, yes, I want to separate from the dominant white society, but this is our land. But I'm not opposed to leaving the U.S. either. So if we need to get a new nation, a new land, I'm fine with that also. Right. But again, the U.S. is our land. So I'm not going anywhere, So that's just my thoughts on that. I'm not going nowhere, Yeah, education is definitely important. I say a combination of homeschooling, because not everybody can be full time. Not everybody can afford to homeschool your child full time. I can't do it. But you have to home correct your child. So if you're, having your child in the public school system, they're teaching you certain things, or they're not teaching you certain things, then you teach your kids about things that the school system is not teaching. If your child has questions about what they learn in school, it's your job to correct them, right? Or empower them. So that's your job. So, yeah, family, that's just my quick thoughts. I appreciate you guys in the chat room. I'm not going to be on here for too long, but those are just my quick thoughts, man. The last video I did with the election 2016 reaction, some crazy comments in that video, man. I think those comments are hilarious. Some guy was like, I feel sorry for your children. I hope the social services and the police. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Yo, these trolls be coming up with some crazy comments. But I expect that stuff, man. I expect people to say some crazy stuff. You know, I call myself the black separatist, so I expect people to say you're crazy, you're a racist, you're an idiot, you know, stuff like that. So that's just to be expected. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But yeah, again, family, black people, you know, like I said, the question is, will things get worse for black people? And the answer is they already have. They already have been with Barack Obama under office. Donald Trump is just going to magnify the things for you to see the fuck ups that Barack Obama did. And then once you see those fuck ups, then you'll be like, oh, damn, that's what happened. Then Donald Trump is going to completely change it and repeal whatever Barack Obama did, starting with removing the Affordable Health Care Act. All right. So like I mentioned to you before, his cabinet is going to be crazy. Like I said, Rudy Giuliani as a attorney general. Woo, that's going to be crazy. And then this guy, Sheriff David Clark as Homeland Security Secretary. And I read something about Sarah Palin is going to be some kind of, I don't know, some kind of cabinet member. You got these crazy, oh my God, these crazy people, man, that are on the short list to be in Trump's cabinet, right? So, you know, just expect the worst, and just don't be surprised, because again, we were under 8 years with Barack Obama. He didn't do a damn thing for black people. Not one damn good thing for black people. And just expect the same thing, just with a brand new face. His name is Donald Trump. So it's going to be even more magnified with him. And again, you know, like I said, with Roland Martin said, this is going to be a third reconstruction. Expect just a whole bunch of changes, and just be prepared, man. Just be prepared. You know, I'm staying here. I'm not going nowhere. So if you want to go to Africa, I'll go with you, but I'm coming right back to the U.S. If you want to go to Haiti, I'll go there, but I'm coming right back to the U.S. You know what I'm saying? This is where I belong. This is where I stay. The U.S. is our land. It's that simple. So I'm not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going nowhere. But yeah, family, we need a new economy. And that's the only way, in my opinion, that black people can liberate themselves from this broken system of racism, white supremacy, is to completely separate from this economy and have our own economy. That's how we thrive, right? But we have a long way to go. A long way to go. All right, so I'll read a couple more questions and I'm going to end it for the night. Let's see. Rashawn Barr says, Chauncey, you really think that white supremacists are going to allow black folk to become an independent nation or separate on this land? Do I think that white people will allow? No, of course not. Of course not. Can it actually happen is another question, right? It can happen if black people collectively as a group decide to form either a body politic or a super PAC or some kind of large political body, right? we pool our resources together, and we have a list of policies or a list of demands that we want changed, we can start from there, right? But again, it starts with Black people collectively as a group working together. And again, we have a long way to go, before that happens. All right. Because again, if you pool our money together, Black people collectively as a group, you pool our money together, they say that we have a so-called spending power of $1.3 trillion. Right? So if we can go out on Black Friday and spend trillions of dollars on things outside of our community, what if we decided to pool our money together, our $1.3 trillion together, and do something that's going to benefit us? You see, Black people don't think that way. We don't think that way at all. So our so-called spending power can be used to benefit us, but we don't think that way. We don't think that way. So we're so caught up in things that we just want to personalize and benefit us, just our families. We don't think long term. So that's why we're so short-sighted when it comes to things like this. That's why Black people are so surprised that Donald Trump is in office, because we're short-sighted. We don't think for long-term things. White folks, they think 10, 20, 30, 40 years ahead of us. They always plan ahead. Black folks, we don't think that far ahead at all. You know, the only thing we'd be planning ahead really is for a vacation, probably a marriage or an anniversary, just something like that. But when it comes to collectively as a group, Black folks, nah, we're nowhere near to be found when it comes to planning for what we need to do to benefit us. We don't have that type of dialogue whatsoever. So, couple more questions in the chat before I leave. Let's see. Then we remain a prisoner. It's too indoctrinated. We created our own way of life and spread it across the world. Very true. Consumers will have power. The producers have the power. As Dr. Klein understands, we don't produce shit anymore. Of course, that's very true. That's very true. Like I said, if we have $1.3 trillion of spending power, right, and we decide to put that money in a trust fund, something that accumulates wealth, period. If we put that money in something that accumulates wealth, that can, not only accumulate wealth, we take that money, start small businesses. Let's say a technology company that blows up in the next couple of years, then it's worth, potentially millions, if not billions of dollars. And we have a blossom effect of so many companies that are started by Black people. That's called a new wave economy, right? So again, we can't think short-sighted here. We cannot do that. We can't afford to do that. We can't think short-sighted. This is a long-term thing that Black people need to do, And again, we're going to have Donald Trump in the office as president-elect within the next 4 years. Okay, so Black people need to govern themselves accordingly. All right, that's what Black people need to do. We need to govern ourselves accordingly. And again, things have already gotten worse. All right, and they're just going to be magnified with Donald Trump in office. That's all. Then he's going to pull whatever about Barack Obama did and just replace it with something else under his administration. Starting with putting potentially Rudy Giuliani, as Attorney General and Sheriff David Clark as Homeland Security. So expect just the continuous onslaught of Black people getting gunned down by suspected race soldiers in this country. And this time, the outcry from the government is probably going to be most likely going to be few and far in between. You won't hear a damn thing about police brutality and things of that nature. It's going to be business as usual, right? Because we're made to order. We're made to be killed off. You know, it's called population control. So it is what it is, family. What time is it? 9:56. Yeah, I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna close out the show. I didn't want to be on here for too long. Just wanted to get more in depth about Black people and you know, what we need to do going forward when Donald Trump is in office. Again, like I said, I keep saying to you guys, things have already gotten worse for Black people. You know, Black people just waited too late to figure that out. They just waited too late. They was drinking the Obama Kool-Aid. Once they stopped drinking that Obama Kool-Aid, reality kicked in and they was like, Barack Obama ain't did a goddamn thing for me. I know he taxed the hell out of me. He taxed the hell out of me. So yeah, family. So that's just my quick thoughts. I don't want to be on here for too long. Appreciate you guys coming in the chat room, man. Much respect. So that's it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. Had a long day. I was practicing today for my kids' basketball practice, and I'm really tired. So I'm definitely going to go to bed now. So anyway, family, appreciate you guys coming in the chat room. I'm gonna sign out. Make sure you leave a comment down below, like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Once again, if you're new, please subscribe. So I'm gonna sign out, family. Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.